Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 7 o'clock main news. In tonight's headlines, the Palestinian delegation delivers signed documents to the United Nations seeking to join the International Criminal Court, or the ICC. Iran denies that it had reached an agreement with the United States to ship its surplus enriched uranium to Russia. Suspected Boko Haram militants kidnap about 40 boys and young men in a raid on a remote village in northeastern Nigeria. And search teams scouring the Java Sea for the wreckage of AirAsia flight have found 4 large objects. The Palestinian delegation has delivered signed documents to the United Nations seeking to join the International Criminal Court, or the ICC. Its succession process was thus formally launched, which in turn could see the Palestinian Authority seeking war crimes charges to be brought against Israel. Chief Palestinian observer Riyad Mansour has confirmed that the documents had been passed on in statements to reporters at the United Nations. Mansour was quoted as saying at the UN, "We are honoured that we are to be the 123rd state party to join the ICC, which will become effective from about 60 days from now." Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas signed the Rome Statute, the founding treaty to join the International Criminal Court, last Tuesday, a day after the United Nations Security Council failed to adopt the Arab coalition's bid for the creation of a Palestinian state. Officials and residents said that the so-called IS group seized yesterday dozens of men from 2 villages in northern Iraq while searching for people who burnt its flag. An intelligence officer said that a total of 170 men were taken from villages of Al-Shajra and Al-Gharib in Kirkuk province after 2 so-called IS group flags were burnt in the area. The officer said that IS militants who were driving about 30 vehicles took the kidnapped people to the centre of Hawija, a nearby town where they have a court and a prison. It's not the first time the IS has turned to mass detentions as it seeks to quell resistance in the vast territory in Iraq that it has overrun since June. Iran denied that it had reached an agreement with the United States to ship its surplus enriched uranium to Russia under new concessions aimed at clinching a comprehensive nuclear deal with 6 world powers. This comes as some reports said earlier that Tehran and Washington had tentatively agreed on a formula to ship to Russia much of the material that could potentially lead to manufacture of atomic arms by the Islamic Republic. They added that negotiators had drawn up a catalogue for the first time at their December meeting in Geneva, outlining areas of potential accord and differences in their 12-year nuclear dispute. Iran's Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Marzia Afkam said no agreement on any nuclear topic had been reached. Police said today that at least 18 rebels were killed in airstrikes by foreign forces in southeastern Paktia province of Afghanistan. A senior police official said that the air assault was carried out in the early morning in Gayan district, adding that foreign militants were also among the dead. Earlier on Friday, security forces targeted an explosives-laden motorbike in Barmal district of the province before it could reach its target. The airstrikes come at a time when Taliban rebels have increased their attacks on security forces following the withdrawal of NATO ISAF forces from Afghanistan, handing over the security control to Afghan forces. Suspected Boko Haram militants have kidnapped about 40 boys and young men in a raid on a remote village in northeastern Nigeria. People who fled the Malari village in Borno State and arrived in the state capital, Maiduguri, late yesterday said the men had been taken on New Year's Eve. Residents said gunmen had come to the village in pickup trucks and ordered all males to come out and listen to a sermon. Young men were then rounded up and taken into a nearby forest. Last year, Boko Haram abducted about 200 girls from a boarding school in Borno. The US imposed new sanctions on North Korea in response to a cyber attack against Sony Pictures Entertainment. President Barack Obama signed an executive order yesterday allowing sanctions on 3 North Korean organizations and 10 individuals. US sanctions are already in place over North Korea's nuclear program. However, yesterday's actions are believed to be the first time the US moved to punish any country for cyber attacks on a US company. White House officials said the move was in response to the Sony hack, but the targets of the sanctions were not directly involved. Instead, these sanctions are designed to further isolate North Korea's defense industry for future cyber attacks. In what is thought to be a breakthrough in the hunt for the wreckage of the AirAsia passenger jet, Indonesian authorities said today that search teams have identified 2 large objects in the Java Sea. No survivors have been found, and there has been no sign of the crucial black box flight recorders that is hoped to reveal what caused AirAsia flight QZ8501 to crash. More details in the following report by Dina Nasser.
As bad weather and heavy seas continue to hamper operations to search for the victims and debris of the crashed AirAsia flight QZ8501, Indonesian officials said that search teams scouring the Java Sea have found 2 large objects. Search and Rescue Agency Chief Bambang Solistyo said the large objects had been detected by sonar from an Indonesian Navy ship after a remotely operated underwater vehicle was being lowered in the sea to take pictures. Specialist equipment has arrived to the search for the plane's black box flight recorders, though officials said that no signals have been picked up yet. Investigators hope the voice and flight data will solve the mystery of what happened to the flight as it flew through a severe storm over the Java Sea. No survivors have been found after the jet disappeared, with 162 people on board while flying from Indonesia to Singapore last Sunday. However, 30 bodies have been recovered so far. Earlier in the day, the bodies of 9 victims arrived at an airbase in Pangkalan Bun in Indonesia, where they were processed and flown to Surabaya. Meanwhile, a multinational task force of ships, planes and helicopters were still scouring the northern Java Sea and the coastline of the southern Borneo, taking advantage of the brief break in bad weather that has hampered the search. The U.S. Navy has been working alongside Indonesian rescuers since Tuesday as a vessel for USS Fort Worth arrived in the Java Sea this morning to assist with the search. A Russian plane carrying a team of divers also arrived in the Indonesian town of Pangkalan Bun to take part in the search. In other developments, Indonesia's Transport Ministry temporarily suspended the AirAsia's Surabaya-Singapore flights because it had apparently operated the service beyond the scope of its license, which permitted flights on 4 days of the week but not Sundays when the crash occurred. The ministry said it will investigate all flight schedules from Monday as part of a government probe into the crashed jet.
Rescue workers are to resume a search on the Norman Atlantic ferry nearly a week after it caught fire while sailing from Greece to Italy. Firefighters and investigators boarded the boat after it was towed into the Italian port of Brindisi. They recovered a black box recorder but said it wasn't yet safe to enter the car deck where the fire started. It's not clear what caused the blaze, which killed at least 11 people. Up to 19 are said to be still missing. It took rescuers more than 2 days to extract 477 survivors from the burning ferry, mostly by helicopter. The ferry was sailing from Patras in Greece to the Italian city of Ancona when it caught fire on Sunday. Firefighters are battling out-of-control bushfires threatening homes in South Australia and Victoria, leaving 75 people dead and causing devastation across the area. Police declared a major emergency and alerted all residents of the risk. South Australia's fire chief said the blazes in the Adelaide Hills were the worst since the Ash Wednesday bushfires in 1983. Meanwhile, crews have also been battling bushfires in Victoria, with emergency alerts issued for Hastings, Bittern and Crib Point, south of Melbourne. A mix of snow, sleet and freezing rain continued to batter a broad stretch of western Texas after the National Weather Service issued a winter storm warning for the area, forecasting 4 to 6 inches of snow. Motorists in Odessa, about 350 miles west of Dallas, drove through snowy streets and used ice scrapers to clear their windscreens. Several other parts of Texas are expected to also see rain, snow and sleet through the weekend. Blowing and drifting snow will also be a concern as winds increase this afternoon, especially along the Divide and over the Marias Pass. Another series of weather systems are expected starting tonight and continuing through Tuesday of next week. By tomorrow night into Tuesday, snow levels will gradually start to increase with a chance of freezing rain possible Monday morning. Finally, a ridge of high pressure will be built by Wednesday. With wide attendance and participation, the Learn from the Best conference recently kicked off at the Hilton Mangaf. The one-day conference was organised by Vigor Events, who invited a number of academics and experts in various fields to share their success stories with the audience. Hiba Abdurrahman was there and has this report.
In conclusion, for the activities of the year 2014, Vigor Events organized their conference, which was entitled Learn from the Best. The conference aimed at developing people's skills and letting them appreciate their efforts and capabilities by inviting a number of speakers to discuss different issues such as the tool of sustainable success, risk management, the inner treasure, the untapped power of your network, and leading change. The local and international experts shared their experiences in the challenging world of business and highlighted the role played by innovation in the development of individual skills and corporations.
My speech was basically a testimonial kind of speech. I introduced my history and my way forward of being successful if I ever achieve success, and what are the tools to make you successful. In summary, I say that success is not a one-way up, and there are definitely tools you have to take to be on one-way up, but it's not really a straightforward thing. It's a continuous journey. It's a circle by itself. So you have to keep on doing the things that you did in order to be successful and to climb the ladder. But it's basically a circle. It's a continuous journey that you have to do with love, with passion, hard work, persistent, focus, and what have you.
I mean, education's always important. And one of the great things about the whole human spirit is as people become successful, they want to share. They want to help other people lift up. So I think events like this are fantastic. You know, people that have made it, sharing, everybody taking time out of their day to come here and improve themselves, fantastic.
The industry leaders also spoke of the role of successful leadership in elevating businesses. Vigor Events is famous for holding and organizing such events that aim target of a kind of audiences who are eager to develop their professional life.
Actually, we are targeting, and most of our attendees are from different industries in Kuwait. We have from the telecom, from the banking, from the manufacturing, hospitality sectors. So when you speak about knowledge, knowledge is for everyone, no matter what is your career, what is your profession. So today we have more than 200 attendees from different sectors in Kuwait market.
Beyond the scope of routine event management, Vigor Event is focused on transforming the concept of seminars and conferences. It brings together the world's most prominent leaders, speakers, and authors from a wide range of fields. With the title Wrap Up Your Professional Year, the Learn from the Best conference concluded its busy day that was full of informative lectures and seminars, which also witnessed wide participation and attendance. From Adora Boardroom in Hilton Al Mangaf, I am Hiba Abdurrahman reporting for English News.
For a chance to see our reports again, please visit our YouTube channel at MOI Kuwait News. And to recap tonight's news, here are the headlines once again. The Palestinian delegation delivers signed documents to the United Nations seeking to join the International Criminal Court or the ICC. Iran denies that it had reached an agreement with the United States to ship its surplus enriched uranium to Russia. Suspected Boko Haram militants kidnap about 40 boys and young men in a raid on a remote village in northeastern Nigeria. And search teams scouring the Java Sea for the wreckage of AirAsia flight have found 4 large objects. Thank you for joining us.